The African lion has finally been revealed for Planet Zoo, but not only that, we finally get a look at the African penguin, the blacktip reef shark, and is that an animal nest I see? Join me today as we dissect the latest feature focus for Planet Zoo 2, awe-inspiring animals. Let's jump into it. So, if you guys are subscribed to the mailing list for Planet Zoo 2, which by the way, you get this free statue of the hawksbill sea turtle, very cool, you might have seen that the African lion was about to be teased out for today, I believe it drops. Yeah, it's currently a toss-up on whether or not you actually receive these. I hope they are able to iron these out because, like, that little Friday teaser is something that I am living for, that keeps me going until the next Tuesday. Like, I don't know. I love that stuff. But a lot of people have properly guessed that this is the African lion after all, and my almighty, it looks beautiful. Now, yes, I am certain, absolutely certain, that we are going to see some folks who are going to nitpick this out to oblivion, but that is okay, because we are positive here. This is the very same lion, if not much more improved, from what I was able to be shown in the Frontier Studio back in March, and my almighty, you guys can finally see why I am so floored with Planet Zoo 2. We actually get to see 3 different models for these guys. We get to see the male, the female, and the juvenile at the very end of this little teaser. What beautiful looking animals. I cannot get over it. Not only like how they look on a visual scale, but how they move, and more importantly, how they sound and how they look when they sound. As I've talked about before, one of the biggest highlights of our little in-person kind of focus feature back when we did visit the Frontier Studio offices was how sound and animation play together, and we can see this very much in motion when it does come to the African lion. Oh my word, it shows it off so well, and I just can't wait to hear these guys kind of like grunting and roaring across my entire zoo. Like, that is so cool. But yes, I am certain that the Zoopedia has already piqued everyone's interest, and this video is going to hit them kind of like, oh hey, by the way, there's also this. And by the way, with there's also this, we get a look at the blacktip reef shark as the latest animal revealed for Planet Zoo 2. We get a quick look at it. We did see these guys also back in the studio, but now we can finally talk about it and say how damn good they look. And yeah, like, it moves like a shark, as you could probably expect, and it looks like a shark, which I would be really damned if they didn't make it look like a shark. But yeah, that is really cool. Blacktip reef sharks are extremely common in aquariums across the world, and they're just a really cool shark species, so I'm really excited to get them in the game. And in terms of other animals that we get to see in this little feature focus, we did get to see the red panda in motion very briefly. Oh my word, they're so adorable. Not only them, but also the African penguin moving around. Again, it looks like the model was not touched since Planet Zoo 1, but knowing that there are new locomotion speeds and different kinds of animations that play out when it comes to these animals, it is important to note that while an animal does not receive visual upgrades, that still does not mean that upgrades are not happening behind the scenes and where you can't really see it until it's actually in motion. And in terms of other animals too, we get to see the blue wildebeest, western chimpanzee, saltwater crocodile is very cool, the African elephant, plain zebra, and of course that damn Pacific sardine. However, one of the biggest reveals in here is animal breeding updates. They did not add realistic mating animations. I am so sorry to say. I know everyone was really hoping for that, but we got the next best thing. It looks like the saltwater crocodile is on a nest. Now keep in mind, these could be entirely custom pieces. These could be entirely made for the trailer, but Frontier doesn't necessarily do that. Frontier usually likes to show off how a normal Planet Zoo player would play the game Planet Zoo, or in this case, Planet Zoo 2. So yes, I am led to believe that these are actually just nest pieces that the saltwater crocodiles can go on top of, lay their eggs in like their little clutches and whatnot. This is very exciting to me. Now, I do realize I did piss a few people off in a couple of my videos before, saying that nests really weren't the most important thing for me when it comes to Planet Zoo 2. Some of the things I really wanted to see were more so fully functional flying birds, better building tools, scaling, path tools, I really wanted to make sure that the necessary upgrades did not take a backseat to something that is going to be overlooked relatively quickly, but seeing that we do get pretty much all of those fundamental upgrades for Planet Zoo 2, yeah, I'm more than happy to see some nests in this game. Now, I did go a little eagle-eyed in the shots where we did see the African penguins, because we do talk about seasonal breeders versus year-round breeders in just a little bit, but it looks like the African penguins don't actually have a nest in here. Instead, they have the burrow item, which is exactly how they breed in real life. African penguins do make dens where they kind of burrow and then nest and then they hatch their eggs in there. It is very cool. But what gets me super excited is the functionality that this would have for other birds as well, such as fairy penguins, the little blue penguin that we have in Planet Zoo 1. Hopefully they bring them to the sequel. Not only that, but new birds as well, such as burrowing owls. I mean, they are called burrowing owls after all, but also puffins. The Atlantic puffin does actually make its nest inside of burrows, which is so adorable. But in terms of actual breeding behaviors, we can go into this a little bit more. The feature focus does mention that the African lion is a year-round breeder. Meanwhile, the African penguin and the saltwater crocodile are seasonal breeders. This is actually really cool to me because it's a reflection of how real-life zoos and real-life wildlife preserves actually operate. So you'll oftentimes see that African penguins might breed during long days. Yes, there is a term called a long day breeder, where in the summertime, at least in the northern hemisphere, when the days are longer, the animal will gravitate towards having more offspring around that time of year instead of around the winter time. This could either be a direct result of, like, you know, the amount of light outside, but more often than not, it's usually about food availability in season versus out of season. Usually the summertime bears a little bit more fruit, so you would see a lot more animals having offspring there because they can expend those energy resources. Meanwhile, the African lion is a year-round breeder. These are usually classified under opportunistic or continuous breeders. Opportunistic usually refers to the fact that if there is a surplus amount of food, that means there's a surplus amount of babies being made, kinda like college. Meanwhile, continuous breeders, they have no regard as to like how much food is out there. All they know is sex, and that is all they know. And also surviving, I guess. But this is really cool. I am very excited about like fundamental animal behavior changes. So seeing this incorporated into Planet Zoo 2 gets me very excited about what this means for other behaviors, kind of like nursing behaviors. How long an animal stays with its offspring. How many animals gather in a herd to rest, or if they typically stay apart from each other. Either way, this is very exciting to me, and I really can't wait to learn more about animal behaviors rather than actual animal reveals, which I think is kind of crazy. But it would not be a session about animal breeding if it were not for the juvenile models. So we do get to see 3 new juvenile models in here. It's kind of weird that we didn't see the African penguin, but I digress. The saltwater crocodile is shown to have a juvenile right beside her. Very adorable. You can just about make out the African lion cubs just making their way across the habitat, which, can we talk about that habitat, by the way? It is beautiful. And also the plain zebra can be seen in the wildlife preserve, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But yeah, 3 new baby animals, very exciting stuff. Now moving on to animal behavior. This is not really specifically related to breeding, but you know, it's close enough. Pretty much all the stuff that we already knew. Animal behaviors and kind of their moods are affected by the habitat quality, or whether or not the habitat actually meets the animal's needs. If they are not met, they could be either depressed or they could fight each other, which is very crazy. And from there, we can talk about the buildings and scenery that we were able to see in here, or rather, building materials and building tools. Yeah, not really much in terms of scenery. If you guys do want to see someone who does go deep into the scenery overviews, please go check out my good friend Ebenswed's video on that. I'm sure he's already covered kind of like all the returning themes in Planet Zoo 2. So if you're curious about what pieces to start getting accustomed to, he's your guy for that. However, I am captivated by the terrain tools this time around. It looks like the sculpting tool. The water automatically fills in as you sculpt around an environment. We can see that in this little shot over here, if I have it up, the player who is currently kind of, making the water in this habitat is using the flatten tool, which means water automatically kind of fills in and calculates wherever your brush is headed, which is so exciting to me. But not only that, but terrain paint has a few new things to be revealed in here. It looks like the long grass is making its return, and instead of just a blank kind of like dull texture, we actually get like 3D grass for the long grass, which is so exciting. It's going to be so much easier for just anyone who is not really accustomed to playing Planet Zoo or like any of these sandbox games to jump in here and start making such a beautiful habitat in no time. That gets me so excited. Almost as excited as 9 different kinds of grass being able to be used as terrain paint. Like, that is crazy to me. And also 8 different kinds of soil. Oh my god. We are going to be making the most naturalistic, most beautiful enclosures ever with all of these at our arsenal. It gets me very excited. Moving on from there, we get a couple other shots at our latest wildlife preserve, the Great Rift Valley found in central to southern Africa. What a beautiful little landscape in here. A bunch of really cool animals in here too. Nothing that we really haven't seen before, but this just gets me super excited. I mean, just looking at all the details in here that makes this environment look so naturalistic. I really hope that we have some nice tools to really make this come together a lot easier. But Planet Zoo, y'all haven't got any other wildlife preserves? I mean, come on, we've seen the same African one. It's beautiful, do not get me wrong, but come on, give me something good. Give me a tundra one, give me a tropical one, I need something. Other stuff, just miscellaneous things from this video. The glitched out UI in that one shot of like putting down the grass was kind of funny. I like stuff like that. I like when the video is like, you catch something a little iffy, you know? Besides that, the shot of the lion interacting with the tree looks so good. Oh my god, just like the colors in here, it feels so realistic. It feels so kind of desaturated, but also not desaturated to the point where it doesn't look like, life anymore. It's that perfect level, it's that perfect mix where it's not all the way saturated in the Planet Coaster 2 saturation level, but it's not like LA Noire, it's a happy medium. And I guess like the chimp yawning and then going right to sleep is super cool. I can't wait to see these behavior trees really come together when I'm actually playing the game and when I'm actually kind of like managing a franchise zoo. I'm super excited for that. That's gonna be a fun little series. But that is pretty much everything we are revealed today. I'm sure I'm gonna have another video where I go over all the latest Zoopedia drops. Just a quick little one where I kind of just give my live reaction. I feel like that's going to be a super fun video, but if you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to drop a like and let me know your favorite reveal in this little kind of tidbit so far. Me personally, I am so excited that the Blacktip Reef Shark is finally being able to be shown to everyone, because that is certainly one of my favorite animals of all time, so getting them publicly is super exciting. And also the fact that the African penguins can burrow and nest in their burrows, that is very cool to me. I don't know. And yeah, I guess the lion looks good. I'm not really a big lion guy. I don't know. I like jaguars. Jaguars are my favorite big cat. Planet Zoo 2. Show me the jaguar. Show me the jaguar. But with that being said, I will end it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this and want to keep up to date on any other Planet Zoo 2 news, be sure to stay subscribed to me and other content creators who are probably covering the same exact thing, but they probably are a lot more smart about the animals than I am. But whatever. Have the most wonderful days, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.